Good morning, friends. It's Friday, the 7th of March, 2025, and it's time for your news from dinarrecaps.com. Iraq's annual inflation rate has dropped to 2.8% in the fourth quarter of 2024, down from 4% a year earlier, according to a statement from the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI. Core inflation has also declined to 2.5% from 4.5%. The CBI noted that these figures indicate price stability and effective monetary policy. Additionally, Prime Minister's advisor, Mazhar Mohammad Saleh, provided insights on bridge borrowing, describing it as a short-term borrowing method to address temporary budget deficits. The Iraqi parliament has scheduled to resume sessions on March 8th to vote on various laws, including amendments to the Industrial Investment Law. The White House Crypto Summit is set for March 7th, 2025, bringing together crypto industry leaders and regulators to discuss President Trump's crypto plans in the U.S. The event will feature around 20 to 25 participants in a roundtable format, though some key figures, such as Cardano's Charles Hoskinson, have reportedly not been invited. Notable attendees include Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor, and executives from Coinbase, Robinhood, and Kraken. The summit aims to clarify the administration's regulatory strategy for cryptocurrency and the proposed U.S. crypto reserve, despite no immediate policy changes expected. Discussions will focus on the different treatment of Bitcoin and altcoins, led by AI and crypto czar David Sachs. The event's guest list remains fluid, with ongoing confirmations from industry leaders. Iraq has increased its gold reserves by 10 tons, according to the World Gold Council, bringing its total holdings to 162.7 tons. This increase represents 13.6% of Iraq's remaining reserves. The country now ranks 28th among 100 nations in terms of gold holdings and 4th in the Arab world. Furthermore, the Ministry of Oil announced ongoing negotiations with Halliburton to develop the oil aspect of the Nar bin Omar field in Basra. In oil price news, Basra heavy and medium crude oils fell by over 2%, with prices at $79 and $72.12 respectively. The Prime Minister's advisor for investment affairs highlighted the Iraq Development Fund's focus on 6 key sectors for investment aimed at addressing national crises. Additionally, annual inflation in Iraq has decreased to 2.8%, signaling price stability and the effectiveness of monetary policy in the country. Note, all intel should be considered as rumors until we receive official announcements, and rates and dates could change anytime until we get the bank's redemption centers. RV excerpts from the Restored Republic via a GCR, update as of Thursday, 6th of March, 2025. Compiled Thursday, 6th of March, 2025, 12:01 a.m. EST by Judy Byington. Wed 5th March, 2025, Global Currency Reset. The moment has arrived. Nasara Gassara on Telegram, Monday, 3rd March, 2025. This is it. The world is shifting before our eyes. Trump's SOTU-style address is expected to change everything. Nasara Gassara, the new republic, the end of fiat, and the global currency reset, all signs point to major announcements. Bondholders are allegedly getting paid. Confirmations are rolling in. Private sector transactions are allegedly 100% confirmed. Sources say Trump allegedly signed off on the RV days ago. The moment of activation is now. Trigger groups are allegedly starting today. Notifications could go out at any moment. Spendable money is coming. Stay alert. Paymasters and banks are on high alert. Redemption centers set to open for a month. This is not a drill. Exchanges have allegedly been scheduled at major banks. High-level sources confirm financial realignments are imminent. March 3rd, 2025, U.S. Inc. dissolved. The fiat monetary system is allegedly over. The privately owned Federal Reserve and IRS are allegedly shutting down. BlackRock, the cabal's financial arm, is bankrupt. All non-Basel III compliance will close. The era of free, manipulated money is over. Gold-backed currency is here. Nasara Gassara activated. The quantum financial system, QFS, is allegedly live, bringing the greatest wealth transfer in history. 134 nations are allegedly abandoning fiat dollars. Gold-backed currencies are the new reality. The new U.S. Republic, allegedly, begins its fiscal year under a gold-backed U.S. note. The global currency reset is now a reality. QFS functions and characteristics. Allegedly, no fiat currency is legal in QFS. Banks are no longer in control. Banks are now obsolete. QFS puts an end to corruption and manipulation within the banking system and central banking system. QFS is completely independent from existing centralized banking systems, makes all other transfer systems obsolete. QFS is not cryptocurrency. After reevaluation, all sovereign currencies will be asset-backed. QFS activation ends central banking system that perpetuates what some refer to as debt slavery. QFS is alive with controllable artificial intelligence that creates financial security and transparency. A country's sovereign currency will have the same value as another country's sovereign currency. Each QFS account throughout the world will be solely owned by the account holder, not owned by banks or governments. QFS replaces SWIFT with new transparent CIPS, cross-border interbank payment system. QFS runs on a new photonic computer based on 24 GPS orbiting satellites protected by the new U.S. Space Force. All funds are GPS traceable forever. Alliance Plan Nasara Jasara Debt Forgiveness Implementation, QFS implemented, Federal Reserve dead, IRS under new U.S. Treasury. New tax system where there is only a 4% tax on new items bought, no tax on food or medicine, wages, etc. Changes are happening in Iraq. We can only hope this means an increase, even a small increase, in the value of the currency is on the agenda further down the road. We have reason to believe the value of the currency will automatically push up once the development road project is in place. In an Iraq boots-on-the-ground report, it appears that there was no auction on Monday. There is uncertainty regarding cash flow, possibly due to governmental withholding of information. Further analysis from Andy Schechtman, CEO of Miles Franklin Precious Metals, indicates a substantial shift in the precious metals market, highlighting a significant interest from sophisticated investors, nation-states, and central banks. He notes the unusual rise in standing deliveries on COMEX and signals a growing uncertainty in global markets that could forecast a potential crisis. Thank you, Mark Z, for all your time and encouragement daily. PDK. Mark Z updates some highlights by PDK, not verbatim. Mark Z disclaimer. Please consider everything on this call as my opinion. People who take notes do not catch everything, and it's best to watch the video so that you get everything in context. Be sure to consult a professional for any financial decisions. Mark Z mentioned that many individuals have been processing and are expected to have their transactions completed by March 17th or 18th, suggesting a possible exchange could occur before then. He noted a particular individual may still keep an appointment to change their currency today, though MZ expressed some skepticism about the timing. Discussion included insights on the release of Iraqi dinar, with MZ commenting that he believes Iran has been largely removed from Iraq's influence. Various members shared thoughts on the U.S. military's involvement in local operations and updates from the central bank regarding currency transfers. Further highlights included potential activation of oil exports through Turkey, developments in electronic banking systems in Iraq, and updates on new currency series being introduced globally, including in Namibia and the Caribbean. Conversations touched upon the broader implications of these changes in currency, with speculation about how they may align with an upcoming reset or changes in the U.S. dollar value. Listeners were encouraged to keep themselves informed, with reminders that the content is for educational purposes and relies on personal opinions. The discussion concluded with an emphasis on community support during this anticipated economic transition. The public debt explosion and what it means for markets. The world is drowning in debt. This isn't breaking news, but the sheer scale and potential consequences of the ongoing public debt explosion are increasingly demanding attention. In a recent episode of Kinesis Money's Talking Trades, market analysts Patrick Kareem and Kevin Wadsworth delved deep into this issue, exploring what runaway debt actually means for markets and investors. So, what does this debt explosion entail? Simply put, it's the rapid increase in the amount of money governments owe to individuals, businesses, and other countries. This debt accumulates when governments spend more than they collect in revenue, forcing them to borrow to cover the shortfall. The discussion also explored the implications for specific markets. Kareem and Wadsworth pointed out that assets perceived as safe havens, like gold and silver, tend to perform well in environments of high debt and currency debasement, They also emphasize the importance of carefully analyzing individual companies' debt levels and financial health, as those with high debt burdens may be particularly vulnerable to rising interest rates and economic downturns. The growing public debt explosion presents a complex and multifaceted challenge for markets and investors. While the exact timing and magnitude of its impact remain uncertain, the potential consequences are significant. The key takeaway from Karim and Wadsworth's analysis is the need for vigilance and informed decision-making. Investors should consider diversifying their portfolios, allocating assets to safe havens, and carefully evaluating the debt levels of the companies they invest in. By understanding the potential risks and opportunities associated with the public debt explosion, investors can better navigate the turbulent waters ahead and protect their wealth. The latest bad premise could be a disaster for the US dollar. Notes from the Field by James Hickman, Simon, February 27, 2025. On October 20, 2022, Liz Truss resigned as UK Prime Minister after just 44 days in office, the shortest tenure in British history. She was brought down not by a no-confidence vote or a party coup, but by a full-scale bond market rebellion. Her government's proposed mini-budget featuring sweeping tax cuts triggered a historic sell-off in UK government bonds gilts, sending yields soaring and the pound crashing. As panic spread, the Bank of England was forced to intervene to prevent a financial meltdown, and with markets, party members, and the public losing faith, Truss's premiership collapsed. Such is the fate of governments when they don't control the global reserve currency. The US government should heed this warning. But it seems more likely to barrel ahead with the false premise. America will always remain the dominant global superpower that can do whatever it wants. That's the subject of today's podcast. We discuss these types of false premises. Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. It will take just 2 weeks to stop the spread of COVID, mistakes that over and over cost the US trillions of dollars. And nowhere is this more egregious today than in the idea that the US dollar will remain the reserve currency, whatever the US does to push other countries away. We talk about how a series of laws has escalated the weaponization of the US dollar, starting with the Patriot Act in 2001, then FATCA in 2010, and the freezing of Russia's US assets in 2022. Now, the Mar-a-Lago Accord is being floated, which includes an idea to strong-arm U.S. allies into swapping their U.S. treasuries for 100-year, non-tradable, zero-coupon bonds. After all, the argument goes, the U.S. provides defense for much of the world. It is only right that other nations should pay for it in some way. But we discuss why this is such a bad idea and how it will only push countries into finding alternatives for the U.S. dollar, robbing the U.S. of its power to influence global affairs with the currency and stripping the U.S. dollar of much of its demand and therefore value. You can listen to the full podcast here. For the audio-only version, check out our online post here. To Your Freedom, James Hickman, co-founder, Shift Sovereign, LLC. ESMA has been accused of overreach regarding non-EU crypto provider guidance. Last Thursday, Europe's Target 2, T2, and Target 2 Securities, T2S, interbank payment systems experienced a significant outage during normal business hours. The European Central Bank, ECB, extended operating hours until midnight, as the systems came back online at 1800, following a similar outage in October 2020. This year's outage occurred during the busy period before month-end, contrasting with the previous year's incident on a slow Friday afternoon. The ECB initially diagnosed the issue as a database error but later identified it as an infrastructure component failure, allowing the necessary failover and restart. The report discusses alternative approaches for redundancy, drawing comparisons between replicated databases and blockchain technology. While the ECB employs multiple redundancy strategies for T2, including the Enhanced Contingency Solution 2, ECON, concerns remain about the functionality of wholesale central bank digital currencies, WCBDCs, in such scenarios. In related news, the European Central Bank has cut key interest rates to 2.65% from 4.5% to stimulate economic growth. While lower rates might support markets, inflation concerns linger and bond market volatility raises questions about future stability. Moreover, the Texas Senate has passed a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill SB 21 with a vote of 25-5. This bill marks a significant milestone for state-level Bitcoin reserve initiatives, allowing investment in Bitcoin or select altcoins without imposing a specific investment cap. Iraq now says it is waiting on Kurdistan to give them the go, now that they are a few days away from leaving the control of Iran over their energy sector by March 8th. They have become much more confident that their 2025 budget will benefit their economy since all revenue will now be counted in their domestic currency, which will give their currency more value, enabling them to become an economic powerhouse. Turkey has confirmed that Ceyhan port is ready and pipeline inspections are completed and ready for operational usage. It was stated that KRG must transfer oil to SOMO under new budget amendments, indicating they are ready to go international at any time now, putting the Forex market on alert for a new member on the trading block. The Development Road project has clear global support, and Iraq is now perceived to be ready for the revaluation of their currency due to low inflation levels, high global interest rates, anticipated GDP growth, foreign investment, and supportive government policies. Meanwhile, there is speculation around 8 oil companies hesitant to start oil flow due to the lack of a revealed new exchange rate, suggesting that Prime Minister Soudani is waiting for the right time to make that known. In another noteworthy incident, the owner of a fake exchange office was arrested in Basra with approximately $250,000 in possession, following a specialized operation by the Basra Police Command. A total amount of $235,470, 112 million Iraqi dinars, and 2 phones with transfer details were confiscated. Additionally, the demand for the Iraqi dinar, IQD, is increasing, directly tied to Iraq's Development Road project, a $17 billion initiative connecting the Gulf to Turkey and Europe, aiming to create a faster and more cost-effective trade route. This influx of international businesses using the IQD for shipping and trade payments is expected to elevate its value. On a different front, fears are growing regarding the U.S. crypto reserve as nearly $500 billion has vanished from the market, leading to concerns over potential manipulation amidst a crumbling trust in fiat currencies. U.S. crypto reserve news: Donald Trump to reveal Bitcoin strategy tomorrow. After doubts over Bitcoin reserve plans and fading sentiment, the market is buzzing again as Trump prepares to unveil a Bitcoin strategic reserve at the White House Crypto Summit on March 7. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick confirmed a national crypto strategy is in the works, sparking speculation on whether the U.S. will buy more Bitcoin or hold its 200,000 BTC. Bitcoin has reacted strongly, rebounding to 90K after dropping to 82K. Speculation is swirling about a potential national crypto reserve, as hinted by Trump's Truth Social post, which may include altcoins like Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. It is uncertain if the government will buy these altcoins, but discussions are growing about contributions from major crypto firms in exchange for regulatory clarity. The White House Crypto Summit will feature prominent figures including Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor, Bitcoin Magazine's David Bailey, and Chainlink's Sergey Nazarov, among others. Notable government officials are also expected to attend, indicating a serious approach toward U.S. crypto strategy. Michael Saylor suggested that while Trump could initiate an executive order for the reserve, actual purchases may need congressional approval. Alternatively, the U.S. could sell existing gold certificates to fund a Bitcoin reserve without increasing spending. Analysts believe Trump's announcement could significantly impact the crypto market, raising questions about insider knowledge as significant trades precede the reveal. The event may clarify the government's strategy regarding Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. In another development, India officially dismisses BRICS currency, praises the US dollar. The Modi government is sidestepping the de-dollarization agenda, reaffirming support for the US dollar as a stabilizing economic force. India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar openly rejected the idea of a new BRICS currency, emphasizing that the dollar's status supports international economic stability. This stance appears to diverge from the aspirations of other BRICS nations pursuing a common currency. With India and Brazil both dismissing the BRICS currency initiative, the formation may face prolonged delays, securing the US dollar's leading position in the global economy. Iraq is noted for its multiple development funds, each serving specific geographical areas. The two primary funds include the Iraqi Fund for Development, focusing on creating favorable investment conditions, particularly in health and education, and the Social Fund for Development, which aims to assist the poorest villages by providing essential services through small projects such as schools and health centers. Other funds like the Dinar Fund and various regional funds face challenges related to security and operational issues. While similarities between these funds exist, they risk overlapping with local and federal development programs. Despite these challenges, these funds have successfully executed numerous investment and service projects within their designated areas. The article questions the potential benefits of unifying these funds into a single entity, which could streamline planning and enhance project financing, thus advancing development across all sectors. Furthermore, the Central Bank of Iraq's planned digital currency is considered a step in the right direction to bolster the financial system and foster financial inclusion. This move, however, requires advanced technological infrastructure and a cultural shift towards acceptance of digital payments, combining efforts from governmental institutions and in the public. Recent data indicates a 9% reduction in Iraqi bank deposits in 2024, amounting to a loss of 10 trillion dinars, raising concerns over banking liquidity and the effectiveness of electronic payment strategies. Economists suggest that restoring confidence in the banking sector's operations is essential for economic stability. Lastly, gold prices remain stable as investors await U.S. job data, with spot gold trading at $29,790 per ounce. And that ends all the news from dinarrecaps.com. We hope this brings value to your day. If so, please like and subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when our reports are uploaded. Thank you for joining us and have a great Friday.